Hi, my name is Brenda Titus, and thank you for joining me for my video series, My Year Recovering from Retinal Detachment. This is the 24th video in my series, and today we will be talking about life after cataract surgery, specifically associated with changes in vision. So if you haven't seen my prior videos, I definitely recommend that you start back at the beginning to follow my entire journey. If you're more specifically interested in the cataract part of the journey, that begins with episode number 21. And I'm really doing that so I can kind of break it up into the different kind of parts of the journey. Hopefully you'll find it interesting and helpful for you. So the other important part is that I am not a medical professional. I'm just here to share my personal journey. So everybody's experience will be different, but I'm hoping that this will be helpful for somebody out there, whether it's for somebody recovering from retinal detachment or even from cataract surgery, or maybe even somebody that you care about. So, like I said, in this video, I want to talk about changes in vision after cataract surgery. Now, one really interesting thing that happens with cataract surgery is that it really is a very instant change, and for one particular part of the challenge. So I can definitely see where people had said to me, oh my gosh, you're going to be so happy. It's going to be so much better. And I do really believe in many elements that is true, because it's clearer. So before I had my cataract surgery, everything was very dark and closed in on me, and that was very, very scary. It was very anxiety provoking. It was very intimidating, just to even be in a room where there was light but to not be able to see very well, and to just, it's very it's pretty isolating, actually, and quite a challenge. And so that really has to do with because the light isn't entering through those lenses. Now, on top of it, because of the retinal detachment, I was more nearsighted even than I was before. Now, I've worn glasses for a long time, since I was in high school. When I first, got my driver's license, that was kind of when I just decided, well, I started wearing my glasses all of the time. And it is true that in the last few years I had gotten more reliant on my glasses. I didn't really like to, even swim without glasses. I felt like I was, it feels very vulnerable when you need glasses to not have them on. So apparently I was decently nearsighted. So when you have your cataract surgery, though, they're making an adjustment to your vision. And so kind of the theory is that, I mean, for some people, then they don't need glasses anymore. I mean, that's kind of one of the selling points to it. And that did not occur to me that I wasn't going to need glasses. So that was kind of like, whatever, they're talking about other people, not me, because I knew that my vision was so altered from the retinal detachment surgeries. So either way, I did notice right away, actually, after my first surgery. Actually, one of the people at the doctor's office kind of tossed my glasses over to the side in my purse and said, well, you won't be needing those anymore. And I kind of went, well, but how am I supposed to see? And especially because I'd only had surgery on one eye and I still had the other eye. But it was actually true that I was able to see for a decent level of distance. It wasn't by no means 20/20, but it was substantially better than before the surgery. I still, I don't believe I was, well, yeah, especially between the surgeries, I spent several weeks where I did not drive, a long time that I didn't drive. And because, the vision was so off, and one was dark and one was recovering from the cataract surgery and all of that. So, but the other kind of tricky part is that I have been nearsighted my whole life, so I could see things up close. So like I could before my cataracts, well, before all of this, I guess I could read, read in bed without my glasses on. I could look at my phone, all of those things. Where then once I had the cataract surgery, I couldn't see my phone, and like, I really struggled with being able to see anything, read anything up close. So that was definitely a big learning curve. So I bought some reading glasses, and kind of, I didn't really understand about like how, reading glasses work, because I'd always had, that correction within my prescription glasses to be able to read. And because I really didn't need reading glasses, I could see perfectly fine up close. And so I'd bought some very strong, I kind of thought, well, the plus 3.25 or whatever. And so I'd had some reading glasses, and I realized, oh, those were, whew, like, how do you adjust from being off and on and off and on? And so quite frankly, I gave up on them pretty early in the process. They were making me dizzy. I was disoriented. I was frustrated. And I thought, oh my gosh, well, one day I will just get my glasses and then that'll help. So I kind of tucked that away in my expectations of how this was all going to go. So I did use a lot of like magnifying glasses. So I really kind of settled in on a 10 times magnifying glass, and I had like a necklace that I wore around my neck, and so that I could, just kind of look at it monocle style, which my niece thought was super cute. She wanted one like me, and then I had some other larger ones depending on, what I was looking at or where I was. So around the house, I would use kind of maybe some of the larger ones, or at the office, I had one that was, kind of bigger to be able to read my notes at work. And I even actually had a 20X, because there were sometimes some things that I just really, I couldn't like expand it on my phone or anything like that. And I really needed to be able to see certain things. So that was kind of how I made it through like the first six week, nah, about 2 months after my cataract surgery. So I was using the magnifying glasses and sometimes the reading glasses, and that plus 3.25. So after about the time that I knew that I was going to be going back to do a follow-up and a glasses check, I started kind of thinking more about using the reading glasses more often. And some of that actually was that my arms, sounds silly, but my arms were tired. I was tired of, everything that I had to do being two-handed, holding, looking at my phone. And ultimately, I thought that my goal was that I would be getting glasses soon. And so I wanted to get used to how it felt. Now, I'm really glad that I did that, though, because I started kind of realizing that that my vision was improving. And so that is actually good. I was starting to notice improvement in my near vision. And so and especially that the glasses were starting to help. So I'm very glad about that. And especially because then, I was starting to kind of like have a new expectation around the next step of my journey. So kind of the interesting part of the next step is that I did go to meet and have my glasses check. So commonly after like a normal cataract surgery, you would get your glasses in, even just a couple of weeks, a few weeks after your surgery. But because I'm still recovering from the retinal detachments and still kind of dealing with a couple of other complications, it's taking a little bit longer. Interestingly, and this is where I have to learn about changing my expectation, is that when I went in to meet with the optometrist, who is there to check your vision and prescribe glasses, he actually determined that glasses, like improving the distance on my vision, wasn't improving with all the lenses that he was trying to use. And he said, well, the lenses from your cataract surgery actually are pretty much as much correction as you should need. And I still I still looked at him and I said, well, but how am I supposed to see if I don't have glasses? And he said, well, but you don't need them. And I said, well, but I can't see very well. And he said, well, preview for the next video, I have some complications that I have to go and address, and hopefully that will resolve that issue. He said, though, that ultimately between the one complication with the cataracts, as well as some resolution with the macular pucker, he said, ultimately you'll probably just need reading glasses. And I was like, well, that's very strange. Okay, he's a really great guy. I love all my doctors, so I will trust him on that. So what I did do, and that I've been doing, that was, there were a lot of tears that day. If you see my video number 20, that was where I kind of did a vision update, and that was after I'd kind of sat with some of this for a few days. And now it's been a couple of weeks of me thinking about it a little bit. I've done a lot of experimenting with reading glasses. So you can see I have these on right now. I've got another pair sitting here that's more like, it's probably a different strength, right? And these are, the difference between the half moon, right, versus the full. Because then these I can look over and see, and so I'm learning a lot about reading glasses, and hopefully after we deal with the next challenge and complication, then I'll be able to go in and actually have prescription reading glasses, as opposed to what I've been doing, which is just trying to kind of figure it out as I go along. I'm still using my magnifying glasses, and just because like I said, they're kind of confusing to me about how I'm supposed to use reading glasses, and so I'll be learning a lot about that. Now, the thing that I want to add is kind of in closing, in talking about vision changes, and I'll be, sharing more after the next doctor's appointment and all of that, is now, again, remember, I'm not a doctor. I could just be, figuring this out, looking at patterns, which is what I love doing. I love kind of making sense out of things. But I had a really interesting observation the other day. So of the different people that I've talked to about cataract surgery and changes in vision, for the most part, like I said, so many people said, oh my gosh, you're going to be so happy and it's just going to change everything right away. Well, one day I was in the doctor's office and I had heard another couple. It was like one of my day after the surgery kinds of events. And the patient was really frustrated with pulling on and putting off the reading glasses, and the wife said, oh, he's so frustrated, and he's never been like this before. And now I actually understand, because pulling off and off and on with the glasses, it's not part of my experience. Actually, I would poke myself in the eye because I'm just not used to pulling them on, taking them off, and all of that. So I kind of tucked that away, and then the other day I saw my uncle, and I hadn't seen my uncle in quite a while. And so we were just kind of catching up, and he said right away, he said, I had cataract surgery, and I don't understand. He said, I was nearsighted my whole life, and I knew what to expect. I could read in bed without my glasses. I could look at my phone and I didn't need glasses. And and yeah, I needed glasses to be able to see far away, but I could, I don't know who I am anymore. And I kind of went, yeah. And I admit I felt really heard in that moment at that, and I understand how people, my clients, feel when they see me, and I get them and I understand them, because for the first time I felt like somebody understood my experience. And I'm gonna still be processing that some, because it is true that I think that if I understand correctly, that maybe people who are already have like are nearsighted, it can be a really big adjustment to then not being nearsighted. And I, like I said, I haven't really talked to any doctors about this or made any sense of it, but they clearly want to, help you see for distance, because that's a very important part of life. We have to see for distance. And so I can see where, that when they're putting in the new lens, they're thinking, well, we want to give you as much improvement for distance as we possibly can, not realizing that like the way that those of us who are nearsighted have experienced the world, it actually is a little surprising. It's very surprising, actually. And so I really appreciated my uncle, kind of giving me that perspective. And so I've definitely been thinking a lot about, this idea of, vision metaphors, and like this idea of how we experience the world, or our perceptions. And as I talk all the time about like how I need to kind of rethink things. And so this week I've just been kind of thinking more about that idea, and just feeling a little bit better about like how I explain it to my doctors, or to my friends or family, that it's just such everything just feels very backwards for me. And and I just kind of wanted to share that, especially if you're nearsighted, and it's this big shock, because I think I've just been really struggling with that part. And I will just get so frustrated trying to look at my paperwork, or trying to look at my phone, and trying to make sense out of that. And so I will be doing some more treatments in a couple of weeks, and then I'll be going in maybe in about a month to talk to the doctor about what is next for my vision, and making those adjustments. So I'll have more to share, as time goes on. So I really appreciate you hearing me out on that, and I hope, especially if you are experiencing cataract surgery and making sense out of these changes in your vision and struggling, I hope that was helpful for you. And I'll be continuing to share my journey as well. I'm going to do another video on a side complication, and then I'll be waiting a couple weeks until my next appointments, probably before I share more about that particular journey. I have some other, kind of insights that I'll probably be sharing, maybe more thoughts from the hypnosis office about that, as opposed to my personal journey. We'll kind of see. We'll be going kind of back and forth as I continue to learn about this, and to recover on my own. But either way, I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope that I've been able to help you. And like I said, the next video I'll be doing has to do with another particular complication, what they call a secondary cataract after cataract surgery. So yay for more complications and more opportunities for me to share and help other people, I guess. We'll think about it that way. So with that, I hope that you have a wonderful day, and thanks for joining me. Bye.